Yeah, be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Yeah, let's just do what we
Good day,
do.
everyone. My name is Isekai Benita, and I'm here with my friends. To my far left is Taratini Nathaniel. To my left over here is Shimon Maxwell. And my right over here is Adela. Say hi. So, parenting or child rearing promotes and supports the physical, emotional, social, and mental development of a child from infancy to adulthood, or it is the intricacies of raising a child, which is not necessarily exclusive for a biological relationship, according to Wikipedia. Raising a happy, healthy child is one of the most challenging jobs a parent can have, and also one of the most rewarding. Yet, many parents fail to give parenting that same focus they give to a job. They may react in their gut intentions, or even possibly use the same parenting techniques that their own parents used. Hence, our topic today is struggles in parents and teenagers' relationship. So we took a survey of things parents do that we as teenagers aren't really comfortable with. Trust me, they were broad, but some stood out more paramount amongst others. And I and my friends, we took a few of those to tackle on. The first one is comparison. Now, parents are actually pretty good at comparing their kids, which is sometimes done subconsciously or consciously, I don't know, to maybe like a classmate, a relative, or even possibly some random somebody they saw on the internet. I mean, it happens.
Yes, you're right, Juanita. But the one I usually see and sometimes experience is comparison between classmates. Parents always compare their children with their classmates without knowing the intellectual ability of their child. You don't know your child's strength or your child's weaknesses. You don't know if your child has a specific learning disability that prevents them from doing well in a particular area or subject. Take for instance, I'm good in English and not mathematics, then you compare me with my classmate who's good in mathematics. Rather than comparing me with my classmate, I feel I should be appreciated for the area or subject I'm good at. Parents always ask this set of questions. How many heads do you have?
One.
How many heads does your classmate have?
One.
Is his brain bigger or better than yours?
No.
Isn't it the same school fees you're paying?
Yes.
Isn't it the same teacher teaching you?
Yes.
So how come you can't perform as good as your classmates?
Now, we all know comparison is a major problem among families today, and the problem arises when instead of observing our child's individual growth and progress and seeking help when needed, we tend to compare our child to his siblings or other children and judging them for being different. You hear words like, why can't you write faster? Why can't you be neater? Look at Mrs. Sharma's son. He studies very well and gets 90% and above in all his subjects. Well, the great Theodore Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. So by comparing our child to his siblings or other children, we run the risk of losing sight of our child's uniqueness and special abilities.
So, okay, imagine my parents comparing me in case of attitude now to like my cousin. And they're like, why can't you be like that? And this cousin of mine is someone who in morals I'm better than. This person acts and talks about things way out of their age range and only pretends because he or she knows that their uncle and aunt are not going to condone any sort of the rubbish. And you're like, why can't I be like that? Now, come to think of it, it's actually sort of funny. Well, we don't really have a problem being compared in cases we're not right. But in cases where I'm even trying, you're crushing my self-esteem because I can't get up to that expectation or something like that. Anyways, another area parents aren't really doing well in is the part of attention. Some parents fail to give a listening ear and at times a looking eye to things we do. Like we're growing and we're definitely going to become inquisitive about things happening around us. And becoming inquisitive, we'll have to ask questions. And if you're not giving us the proper attention, we'll have to look for the answers elsewhere. Some parents, they don't care. Some, they don't even know what's going on. Some may find too busy, some are actually really busy. But all in all, and some of the questions we tend to ask are things like sex education, communication with friends, to mention but a few.
At this point in our lives, when we are entering a new stage, we need your attention. There are many new and weird things happening to us, especially girls, which causes us to ask questions. Your proper guidance is important to us as we need you to teach us how to respond to certain situations we experience. If you don't pay attention to us, that is when the story changes. Take for instance a Christian girl. It was very obvious her parents didn't pay much attention to her. From what I heard, she was a professional. And you don't just become a professional. You have to keep practicing over and over and over again. And all that time she was practicing, her parents were unaware. Parents, you give phones to your children, to us, without knowing what we do with it. No matter how you protect us from evil communication, bad friends, the internet is there to follow your plans. That Christian girl had a TikTok account, Instagram account, and many others, and her mom was unaware. I mean, the phones are good, but they also have a bad side, which is gradually outweighing the good side. Teach us proper hygiene, parents. Teach us how to carry ourselves in public with the opposite sex, even with the same sex, because things are happening nowadays. And then teach us what to do when we experience certain situations. Don't let us ruin our lives because of your lack of attention.
Yes, Adiola. Even my dad sat me down once or twice, talked to me on the topic sex education. And I have friends whose parents have not said a word to them. And they tend to ask me such awkward questions that I can't even answer. Like, how do you expect me to answer such weird questions when I'm still undergoing lectures?
Attention given to teens is very important, but most parents give more attention to the jobs than their teens. Lack of attention can affect our physical, emotional, and psychological self. I mean, my parents, especially my mom, has sat me down once or twice to ask certain questions about myself, like my likes and dislikes, my favorite color, my hobbies. But there are teens out there whose parents don't even know how they're faring. They don't even know the likes and dislikes of their teens because they don't pay attention. Just imagine my mom getting me a pink dress when I literally don't like the color pink. Lack of attention can lead to lack of self-value. We teens might feel like if our parents don't value us, who else would? And that turns from lack of self-value to self-hate. We might feel like our mere presence is what causes dysfunction in the family. Take for instance the case of Idowu college kid. I'm pretty sure that child was being bullied for a long period of time, but the parents didn't know. But when he tried telling them, they didn't give him a listening ear, which led to his death.
Yeah, you're right, Harry. That Doane College kid is actually a pretty good example. I'm very sure we all heard of that incident of the boy who died after a case of being bullied. Trust me, there are effects bullying has on someone. Okay, let's assume that the boy was an extroverted type of person. Being bullied, he'd have probably become introverted, withdrawn, and if his parents were actually paying proper attention to him, there is no way they wouldn't have noticed that.
Yeah. The reason most teens have bad habits, bad behaviors, and do all manner of things because they lack attention.
Okay, so let's balance something here. Just because we said we need attention doesn't mean our privacy should be intruded. Raising a healthy, trustworthy, and independent teen requires honoring their growth for a need for privacy. Learn more about the relationship between privacy and trust and the natural development of autonomy.
Yeah. The job of parents is to shepherd their babies through infancy, teen years, and beyond. What parents don't understand is that in order to launch their teens into adulthood, they need to let them experience and develop skills that will enable them live on their own. I mean, parents really need to learn the word privacy because I feel like they don't know that word. They've never heard it. It's not their dictionary, like at all. I mean, I'm saying this because of the way parents behave. Like they behave in this certain way when you bring up the topic privacy. Parents, we need privacy. We want you to respect our boundaries. We want you to make us feel like we can think about things that we feel we don't need your interference. I mean, we want you to give us space for imagination rather than having you breathe down our necks. Imagine my mom asking me why I'm always alone in my room. My room! It's my room, for God's sake. No, seriously.
Okay, like this just gave me an example. Like, okay, imagine I'm in the living room chilling, and I'm in my phone, and next thing, either my parents, maybe my mom or my dad, they walk in. And coincidentally, at that same time, I had planned to go to the room, so I get up and leave to the door. On my way, before I get there, they're looking at me like, young lady, stop there. I stop, turn around. Like, where are you going? I'm leaving to the room. Why is it's when I came in that you decided to leave? In fact, what are you doing? You're with your phone, bring it here. I bring the phone, they're like, checking it. You have a password. Why do you have the password? Like, why do I have the password? I mean, it's my phone. Come on, my phone.
Oh God.
Privacy is a natural part of teens' development. In fact, privacy is essential for teens to get autonomy and individuality.
Many parents find it difficult to give solitude to teens because they find their secrecy inappropriate. Too little monitoring can leave teens without the help and support they need to make safe decisions about their lives and relationships. But over and over us in demanding too many details can send us the message that you don't trust us. To build a healthy bond with us teens, you should respect and trust our private life. There is much more to privacy than just a random individual luxury. If we don't have privacy while growing up, we can't form our own identity. And trust me, having zero privacy can be detrimental. Privacy is related to personal boundaries and a sense of self-control. And there is one thing teenagers will keep fighting for, it is privacy.
Yeah, that aside, freedom, like Shimon said, freedom is a key part in help that parents need to help our kids grow and develop the skills they need to become functioning adults. Freedom is another thing parents need to iron out with your kids and with your teens. I know balancing trust and freedom can be tough, but knowing how to balance the trust and the freedom can be a skill that you can master. If you're overprotective, we're more likely to rebel in order to gain some control. Involve us in decisions that affect our lives, like things like subjects of our interests, our career choice, curfew, rules for using our phone, and stuff like that. If you must know, teenagers with no freedom are at as much risk as those with too much freedom.
The most common complaint among teenagers today is about having too little freedom. And the usual response from our parents is they had even less freedom when they were younger. Research has it that teens who are unhappier, teens who have lost control over their activities are unhappier and have lower self-esteem. We teens need freedom and enough room to make mistakes and learn from them. We're not asking for freedom to do the wrong and inappropriate things, but we ask for freedom to do some certain things ourselves. For instance, being able to go to school all by ourselves, visiting our friends and our friends, visiting our school with moderate monitoring. Giving us enough freedom helps us become independent and differentiate between right and wrong. Hence, we have joy from making our own choices. According to Dr. Lamson, as a child ages, if you cultivated an open dialogue and a trust-based bond, you'll be able to grant them more and more freedom.
To sum it all, we know you want the best for us and you have our interests at heart. Thank you. But what you might not know is that to you, comparing us is a way of doing us good, but then it's reducing my self-esteem. Rather than comparing us to things like our classmates, relatives, and stuff like that, you can refer back to past cases where we did extremely well, like in case of our result. Oh, what? Instead of saying, look at your result. Now, I heard that this your classmate got first in that graduation party. Instead of doing that, you can like, look at this your result. Look, when you were in this class or this term, you were doing outstanding. You can compare us to things like that, and also in attitude, and also on privacy and freedom. I know we've all heard it. Thank you so much. So there's one thing I need us to understand and know, and that is, teens, though we look like adults, we're still children. And yes, though we are children, we have the physique of an adult. So please balance the equation. I hope you really enjoyed the talk and possibly learned a thing or two. I remain Bonita Esekade.
New improved music,
Thank you.
move and groove with it. Choose who you get with. I smack rap act like it's new hoes. My flow hard like they get the skimpy clothes on individuals when anything goes. I play a pick 'em like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Got soul, got so much funk up in the rap. I should pack a fat bowl. Y'all should kick back, relax, and just roll with me, vibe with me, roll with me.